All right. This is actually page 14, I think. I'll have to count them. Yeah, page 14. So, um, in case you weren't tracking earlier, page 13 is now done. Those are the frogs I did last time, and then I did some backgrounds in this final panel. Get a lot of stuff done on the weekends. I even started first panel of page 14, which is this labyrinth and the castle in the background. There it is without the pencil there. And just to walk you through what's going on, we're changing the scene where away from where Brillig is in dodo form. He's captured now. The frogs are going to alert the Queen Librarian, so he's racing through the labyrinth here. He runs up some stairs. We first see our first glimpse of some card guards. And then he says, we have a champion, basically. And then I'm not sure I like this drawing very much, but it's a rough. Queen Librarian is shown for the first time, and she's a classic looking, maybe even Disney-esque princess. It's actually, the crown is based on a chess piece crown. And yeah, anyway, I'm looking at my figure here, and I think I need to bring him forward a little bit. The reason for that is, whoops, I'm trying to do this rule of thirds thing. The rule of thirds says somewhere in this realm and somewhere in this realm. So I'll have his eye almost right on that corner mark. One of my problems is what to do with this foreground. I think we're just going to make some scrub of some kind. I had the idea of actually doing the entire hedge maze as library shelves, just a maze of library shelves, and which would have been very visually impactful, but very prohibitively painful to draw for right now. You can call me lazy if you want to. A lot of work. All right. So let's see what we got here. Getting into the ink layer. I'm starting here because it's closest thing, obviously, is our foreground. We've got really fuzzy, bubbly, jubbly hedges. Look, I did the hedges over here. They're just squiggles. And you may be looking at that going, oh, it looks terrible. But actually, when you shrink it down, it looks fine. It looks good. Looks okay. The really only the main danger with doing the squiggly hedges is tangents, tangenting into some figures. So I've got some halo effect going on here on both of these characters. This is definitely becoming very reminiscent of Labyrinth with our maze, with all of the different denizens of the hedge maze. But Labyrinth itself has got a lot of Alice in Wonderland in it. For example, the two guards that ask the um, the trick question, one of us always tells the truth and one of us always lies, you'll notice that they are cards. They're card guards, which is right out of Alice in Wonderland. All right, I was jumping the gun by doing that back wall, but let's see what we got. Looks very bubbly. I might have to leaf this up a little bit later, make it look more leafy. But we want our frog to look a little bit out of breath. I wonder if I've got the frog right. One of the angles that I did not do for the frog is a profile. I'm wondering if I may have to go look at a profile of a frog or change him to be, you know, 3/4 facing away or something like that. Oops. All right. One of the things I notice, I'm looking at this frog right here. That's better. All right, let's redo this. I wonder if we get too cartoony, we get away from our initial draw of Brillig as a barbarian comic. All right, he's got kind of a darkly striped suit too. It's important to think that this is our guy. So the suit, and to the greatest extent possible, the features and the face have to all match up. I'm not sure. this case, the frog is taking the role of the white rabbit. He's got an important message to share. All right. If this leg is back, I mean, if this arm is back, this leg is forward. All right, we're getting somewhere. We're gonna have to do like a lot of like detailing, and I'm not sure his flapping coattail works there. There's those lace cuffs. And once again, I don't like his eyes too much. I want to use the eyes from here. Closer. Not quite there. All right. The collar piece is white. And then we have this sort of hatched gray texture. It would have been easier to go with all white or all black because this particular frog is going to be on the next page too, explaining the situation, and not just explaining it to the Queen Librarian, but to explain it to the readers. Where's my fond hope is at all? I'll have it down by then. All right, what's going on here? Right, if this is this knee, it should definitely be in front of that elbow. we're definitely there's a lot of Wizard of Oz going on here. Oh, by the way, the 9-volt anthology for the next one, this will be the 10th volume, or officially the 8th, not counting the 2 holiday editions. Has been announced it will be Adventure, and it'll be announced in June. Well, it'll be due in June, I think, is our soft due date. And it will have this comic in it, I believe, as well as my Tarzan comic, which I'm very much looking forward to finishing as well. So I've got some variations and gradations in the density of the black. I think I'm going to leave him with this sort of white pants here. Let's bring the pencil layer back. Oh, okay. We have a good way to break up his coattails. If you've ever seen the way the Thing was originally drawn or Hulk was originally drawn, you know that characters can change over time as you get more comfortable. Maybe you get a better design idea over time. So I'm not completely sold on these frogs, although I quite like them. I think they're cool. And the frog aesthetic is neat because we've got this sort of storybook universe. We got the card guards and the princess with her crown, or a queen rather. She's not a princess; she's a queen. Um, just looks really good with the frog. I think we can actually black this out. Alas, Babylon. All right. I was thinking like some kind of opening in the wall here. I still might do it. Back into a circular hole. I'll give us kind of a 3-dimensional view of what's going on. Once you add your speech balloons, everything seems to change. I don't know. Does it work? I don't know. I'll either have to rethink it or just leave it out, because leaving it out is fine too. Works fine without it. Doesn't have any unanswered questions or anything. All right, next thing we need to do, shadow. over on Instagram, I've been running about a panel behind. Rather, I'm not behind. I just didn't post the latest panel when it was done. So I posted page 12 today, and I'll let people check that one out. And then tomorrow, maybe I'll post page 13 a little later in the day. That way, people can check that out. I'm almost finished with my Tarzan page, which I haven't worked on it since Sunday, so maybe that'll be normal since I'll be working on it next Sunday, tomorrow. And that is this page. And this page is looking great. I don't know if you can tell. I think I probably need to finish this tonight so I can get it to Jake and you can do some coloring on it. This is going to be sort of a web exclusive. Now, how are we going to print it if it's going to be in color? Well, I'm going to have a black and white version of it, obviously. All right, hang on. Wait, do I have a black and white version of it? Hang on. I do somewhere. This is what did I do? What did I do? I've got to go find it. I think he must have DM'd it to me and I just didn't have it in this list here. So we'll have to check that out. Make sure I get it. All right. What else was I going to show you? Oh, yeah, they finally came in. Tarzan family. I got to show you these. I think there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 7 that were ever made, and I have 6 of them. So DC used to do this thing, like I said, where they had 100-page comics, and they had Superman family, and they had Batman family. And curiously, they also had Tarzan family, but it wasn't really Tarzan family for the most part. Um, Look at this Kubert cover, though. Man. All right. Tarzan. Korak is son of Tarzan. But over here, check this out. John Carter, Warlord of Mars. Carson of Venus. That's another Edgar Rice Burroughs. So when they say Tarzan family here, they're really just talking about Edgar Rice Burroughs. And some of this stuff is super vintage, like this right here. Hang on. See these tiny panels here? This is a 12-panel page. Does that seem unusual to you? Should be. So, this is Tarzan the Boy Lieutenant, but the art is by Hal Foster. And this would have been really big. This, a normal, making it into like a regular size comic is I mean, this would have been nostalgia in 1976 when they did it. That's nostalgia. Because these Hal Foster pages were originally pretty huge. And they just kind of took them and they shrunk them down and they put 12 per page. And here you got Hal Foster. And they're not super detailed either. I mean, take a look at this art. It's very simple. And if you look at the later, was it later? It might have been earlier. Joe Kubert Tarzan's. Every once in a while they'll have a backup story, and it'll be like a Byrne Hogarth Tarzan, which is super classic as well. It's from the newspaper comic. All right, so here's the thing with Korak. So Tarzan, more or less, he's Lord of the Apes. They kind of hint that he can communicate psionically with elephants, but other than that, they don't really get into any kind of weird supernatural stuff. Korak, completely different. If Korak is fighting something, it's going to be a monster. So here he is fighting a giant crab. which of course never existed. Discovering an underground world. Oh boy, well, I was looking for net stuff. Look at how these nets were done. Didn't even wish I'd seen that. I guess she's some kind of Atlantean. Oh, look at this, and she ages automatically when she hits the air. So there's John Carter of Mars. Death has three heads. Super cool. Is this whose art is this? Script is Kanigher. That's Robert Kanigher, guy who did Enemy Ace. Art is Zamora and Catan. I like this. I like this hatching. Oh, it's a three-headed pterodactyl. Like this would have been right up my alley. Okay. Oh, check this one out. Mike Kaluta. So that's a classic right there. And Story Lenween. Kaluta always looked very Art Nouveau to me. Look at that with a big circle in the background and this sort of stylized ornament here. This is very, very much. And he's not perfect. These faces aren't perfect or anything. These are actually quite homely. What am I looking at? Carson of Venus. Carson of Venus, based on the Edgar Rice Burroughs Pirates of Venus. And then there's the Tarzan story. So, around 4 stories. And they're all like this. They've all got. This one has Princess of Barsoom and Carson of Venus. This one has the Underground World of David Innes, and it's kind of like this guy right here. More John Carter. 3 Thrilling Adventures, 3 Deadly Worlds. Amazon of Barsoom, more John. Look at that. It's Joe Kubert. It's awesome. This is the Korak story. There's this crazy tomb, and this giant octopus comes out. He battles. The Burroughs book. Look at that. The Burroughs book. And, like when Korak, this is basically right out of the Odyssey. That's Circe changing these Peloponnesians into animal-headed creatures, like right out of Midsummer Night's Dream. There's the jackass and the pig-headed guy. John Carter fighting a dinosaur of some kind. Oh, her name's not Circe, it's Serena. Well, of course. It's drawing from classic mythology. This is all very cool. All right, anyways. So, I got these for research purposes. My tablet shut down. All right. I might have to beef up Eden, in fact, and do Eden in the Adventures anthology. It would be a perfect one for it. It's an adventure. And, it is what it is. I think this is good for right now. Shadow should also describe texture, so I've got grass growing out of the shadow, etc. And if we wanted to, we could get really ornate and put flowers in the hedge wall or whatever. I think we got a good sense of texture already. And then we're going to get to these 3 tall panels. This is an overhead shot of our frog running up the stairs. And then we'll have these 2 card guards in the way, but they were going to show their distinctive weapons. They have glaives. And then a close-up shot, which I've enjoyed doing. And then pulling back to a medium shot where she has her back turned and she turns slowly around. I'm not sure if I can pull her off. She's, it's hard to do. Female form without looking. You want her to look attractive yet not exploitative. Am I in the right place? We hope. We hope we're in the right place. You know what I mean? All right. Anyway, good times. All right. We're at 31 minutes. Please like, follow, and subscribe. There'll be more of this. I'll probably work on these panels tonight and then maybe get into Tarzan for a while. Jump into that, draw some more pages. It's a never ending story. And once it's a habit, you can't break the habit. Talk to you later.